Hey Frisbee Flickers, welcome back to the channel. Today, huge disc golf news, $275,000 purse at the World Championship. I have the article up here. I'm going to read you guys this line, elaborate on it a little bit, say maybe what I think, and I'm very excited about this, and now I'm really hoping that my first tournament back is going to be the World Championship. It did suck for me, knowing like Ledgestone, is obviously a really high added cash event, and historically I think I've gotten like top 10 there or close, like the last 5 years. So it was kind of a bummer to miss out on events like that I typically play good at. But hopefully coming back, 100% healthy and, having a chance at, the World Championship, and then it being the biggest World Championship ever, gives me a lot to work for. So let's get right into this. So here we have, thanks again in large part to LL Bean's support, this year's purse will be the highest ever for a professional World Championship event. Total purse of no less than $275,000 will be awarded to a 300 competitor field comprised of players from 12 countries. So me knowing the Pro Tour and the people that run it and Todd Rainwater and such, I think that this means, it's going to be a $300,000 purse. I think that they're going to take this to the next level, and they're going to really ramp it up and really make something of this and make a statement. And I've been saying for a really long time now that, paying equal pay or paying all the way down to 50th place isn't what's going to get the attention of sponsors. The sponsors reading or hearing someone just won $50,000. I talked about this in my last The Real Reason I'm Done video. But that's what's going to get people's attention is Ricky winning 40 grand, Paul winning 60,000. That's what's going to make people go, whoa, what is this? And I think that this is a good first step to that. And obviously I'm not saying that first place is going to be that number because of this money. I'm just saying that the more big sponsors we get, corporate sponsors, outdoor companies that are interested, the easier it will be to boost to those numbers. You're already seeing, $12,000 for first. I think that was a $110,000 purse. So this could be almost 3 times bigger than that. So you just take that and times it by 3, it's about $36,000. I think that's what's going to get people talking about disc golf and going, whoa, someone just won $36,000 at the World Championship for 5 rounds? That's going to be pretty insane if you ask me. And again, I'm not trying to, I'm very invested in the sport, manufacturing company, merch company, GibsonDiscGolf.com. But lots of stuff that, I do is because I'm so invested in it. I love this game, love the sport. And seeing LL Bean and, Johnsonville and these other huge companies, Guaranteed Rate, they sponsor football, they sponsor pickleball. Seeing those companies see value in disc golf and diving in, is really exciting for me to see. I am a big proponent of wanting to make this sport better for the person or the people or the generation behind me. And I think that, we can do that. And I think that, the level of talent we have both, on MPO and FPO right now, are really pushing the sport forward. Kristen's on the front of magazines. Macbeth's been in Europe doing, a world tour, European tour. Ricky, Calvin, Eagle, all these people, Simon, that, these people are famous, and they're pushing the sport forward just the same as Katrina and Kristen and them are really pushing the sport forward. Actually, a huge shout out to Ali Smith for winning Kansas City Wide Open in FPO yesterday. First Dgpt win, Silver Series. Great job, Ali. I know you've been working hard. I know there was a lot of emotion in that win, so very proud of you. Good job. Keep it up. But I'm just excited to see the sport molding and attracting these sponsors that I would say, 5 years ago, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years ago were never really an option. When I first went on tour, I believe the year was 2014. I remember playing the Minnesota Majestic, and don't quote me on the exact number, but I think that someone won the A tier, in the MPO division. I think maybe Alex Geisinger won. And I swear it was like between $700 and $1,100. And I remember playing, and I didn't cash. And I remember thinking, well, even if I win this tournament, I paid the entry fee, I flew here, I paid for a place to stay, I would have broke even. I was like, how are these people making it? And I remember being with Yuli and being with Kat, and I remember them, explaining to me, sponsorship, and this and that. And at the time, I was an 18-year-old kid. I was on Innova, but I wasn't getting any pay or royalties or anything from them. So at the time, being in that situation, literally being on tour was a losing thing for me. And obviously I stuck it out, and I wouldn't have traded that time for the world. But to see the young players in the sport now be able to look at this payout, and like I said, hopefully, we're going to see $25,000, $30,000 for first place. And to see kids be able to get fifth and, get maybe $6, $7, $8 grand, and really make a difference, and I think that that's something that as a whole we need to shoot for, because this is what's going to draw kids to want to do this. The reason kids want to play basketball and want to play baseball and want to play football and want to play hockey, yeah, sure, they love the sport, but also the sound of making $30, $40 million a year also sounds pretty good. And not that I think we're going to be at 30, 40 million a year, but, probably while I'm alive, or even if you're watching this, you're alive. But the fact, it took golf, hundreds of years, and basketball, and, all these huge companies, Nike, Jordan Brand, Jordan Brand's $1 billion a year brand now. So we don't have any of that in the company, or in the sport, sorry. So just the fact that we're even trending to the fact of a $300,000 purse is really, really incredible. From what I can remember, I think that one year we had Ledgestone around $150,000 for a purse. Someone correct me. That's just the number that pops out in my head. But to think that this World Championship this year in 2023 could be double because of the hard work the Pro Tour's put in, the hard work that Sean Jack's put in under the Pro Tour. Just all of that stuff is just really exciting for me to see. Obviously, I'm pretty bummed I can't be out there on tour. I've toured every year for 9-10 years now. So the fact I'm having to take a break, also that's exciting for me because I'm going to get back to playing 100%. But this type of stuff is what I was talking about in my last video when it comes to being excited about watching where the tour's going. KO with the Preserve, he literally owns a disc golf preserve. There's 4 or 5 courses, 3, 4, 5 courses out there, and he owns that. That's his. We get to go play on his property and enjoy, his design and his things. And 10 years ago, that wasn't really a thing in disc golf, I don't believe. So I'm happy to see where disc golf's going. On here, there's a bunch of other information about LLB and about Smuggler's Notch Resort, about the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So I just want to give a huge shout out, a huge good job, a huge thumbs up to the Pro Tour for, having the players' backs, trying to build something that's incredible, trying to build something that's unstoppable, and trying to be the number one tour. And obviously, just like we saw in golf, competition's good. If somebody created a alternative tour, I'm sure that, it would rise both tides. And again, blood money or Saudi money or whatever aside, the PGA Tour players got hooked up a lot more when some of these guys went to live. And then now they've obviously merged, and they're trying to figure out obviously some way for Rory and those guys to get equity in this new entity, so they don't lose out on hundreds of millions of dollars. But, look what happened with the Pro Tour and the National Tour. Pro Tour came out, started doing this and that. Todd took over. Now all of a sudden they merged because they decided they were better as allies and partners than they were to be enemies and try to outdo each other. So, whatever the Pro Tour is building is either one going to take us all the way to the top, or it's going to entice other people to also start a tour and think that they can get a $500,000 sponsor and try to compete and try to, run these events and see which players will be loyal to one or the other, or, who's going to chase the money or who's going to, ride the stability. And again, we saw the exact same thing with Live Golf and PGA Tour. So overall, thank you guys for tuning in. disc golf is in good hands. Disc Golf Pro Tour is doing a great job. Thank you to all of you guys who support me, who care about me, who do all that stuff. I greatly appreciate the love and support. And like I said, it doesn't have to be monetary. A nice comment on the video, like, subscribe, anything like that. I'm very grateful. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.